Well, as everyone knows, today is Veterans Day. By the time you see this video, it might be yesterday was Veterans Day. But as I'm filming it, today is Veterans Day, and tomorrow is the legal holiday, so I think I'm right in the right time frame for a veterans video. Now, this isn't going to be the typical Veterans Day video. It's not going to have flags waving and eagles flying overhead, the Blue Angels doing circles in the sky. There's plenty of those. I'm not saying I don't like those. I do like those, and I'm glad people make them. But since there's plenty of those, I'm going to do a video of my own that is a little more dealing with how we can honor veterans every day of the year and not just on Veterans Day. The first way is to do just that, to remember them every day of the year. It doesn't do any good to wave a flag and hold a parade one day a year if you forget them 364 days a year. And the way you can best remember your veterans is be courteous to them, be kind to them, let them know you care, and the best way to do that is let your politicians know you want them taken care of. Let your politicians know that having veterans be caught in the middle between bipartisan, these partisan divides and being used as political punching bags is not acceptable. Always provide for our veterans first, and then if you want to fight over things, fight over things. But veterans are not one thing to fight over. Make sure they have their pay. Make sure they have their benefits. Make sure they have help when they come back finding jobs. Let any politician you know get the message loud and clear that if you stall benefits for veterans just to make a political point, we will not re-elect you. So, I mean, that's just one thing we can do for veterans. And plus, also, send the message to Washington that if we just spent half the money that goes into waste on the military machine on the actual veterans, instead of lining the pockets of defense contractors for things we don't want, things we don't need, and things we often don't even see, just to, like I say, line the pockets of political cronies. If we spent half that money on veterans themselves, being a soldier would not only be a valiant career, but it would start being a well-paying career. So that's way number one that I think you can show veterans you care every day of the year. The second way you can honor veterans is remember what they're fighting for. When you speak to a veteran and they're honest with you, I come from a long line of military people. I'm from a military family, as I know a lot of you all are. And one thing I have always been told is that very few soldiers ever fight for abstract concepts like country or flag or even freedom, for that matter. What they fight for are the things they know. They fight for their children. They fight for their spouses. They fight for their family. They fight for their friends. And they fight for their way of life. Those are not abstract things. Those are concrete things that they care about. So one way to honor veterans is to care about those things also. Be grateful for your family. Be grateful for your friends. Be grateful for your way of life. Realize how lucky we are to have that, and realize what a role veterans played in making sure we have that. And to take that even a little further, remember, when veterans fight for their way of life, they fight for the way the country should be. They fight for the way they want it to be. So when we allow ourselves to be divided into these different camps, fighting over our petty differences, instead of allowing ourselves to come together and bring the best from both sides into the middle and make something worthwhile, when we do that, when we allow ourselves to be divided over pettiness, it's a slap in the face of veterans. Because when we don't come together as a country, like I say, when we decide that we are going to allow the worst of ourselves to govern how we behave instead of allowing the best of ourselves to bring us together, that is dishonoring one of the things that veterans fight for.